Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. And this, my friends, this is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's happiest little place on earth. And you know what's funny, Mott? It's Friday, once again, spurning the laid-back Friday couch, because there's just something I want to do. It's hard over there with those boxes to do. You know, we haven't done it for a couple, we're going to be close to a month. People are going to be yearning for the laid-back Friday couch. I'm actually am. And there's a bunch of t-shirts over there. Keep sending them in. Leoco Winery. This is pretty slick. Like the 1980s iron-on kind of thing. Really cool. Good job. Leoco makes great wines, by the way. Anyway, Oklahoma. You know, there's a big rivalry between Oklahoma and Texas, in the football. And I think that's why they were quick. Andrew Schneider, we want to thank you very much for sending over the wines from Oklahoma. I think he was kind of like miffed. He's like, what are you going to do, Texas and not Oklahoma? So we're very fortunate to do Oklahoma wines today as we continue. And again, a lot of the states' wines around the country are unavailable through distribution here in Jersey. So if you want me to do your wines from Missouri or Idaho, well, we've done Idaho a little bit, but any other place around the country that's feeling feisty and wants to be on the Thunder Show, you're more than welcome to send us some wine. As a matter of fact, Mott, link it up, your email, if anybody needs the address to where they would like to send their local wine. We haven't done Pennsylvania or Ohio, a lot of places we have not covered. Today we are knocking down the Oklahoma tree, and I'm excited about that. There are 4 very interesting wines, including a grape that you just don't see too often. The Vignolis, which is not Viognier, no Vignolis, which is a little bit of like a sweet wine. We see it in New York and Missouri. It's a very kind of Americana thing. Has a little bit of residual sugar. Excited to drink that, but very focused on the first wine, Sand Hill Vineyards, 2006, Oklahoma Cabernet. What I love about this is all the wines are Oklahoma grown, not bought from California and made in Oklahoma. Like I think the wine that what's her name, our good friend, help me here, Jen Pipes brought was an Oklahoma wine, right, with California grapes or Alabama. These are all from Oklahoma. 12.5% alcohol content. This is made by Andrew Schneider, who sent us the wine. He's the winemaker. 15 U.S. bones for this wine. And let's see what's going on. Give it a little rinse. Now, once again, the big thing that I always talk about when I talk about wines from other states outside of the big 3 or 4 in America is that, unfortunately, the cost, by the way, greatest tag team of all time, and if you think I'm wrong, please post your comments. Mott, my prediction of how some of the tag teams we will be seeing in the comment section are Demolition, the British Bulldogs, the Heart Foundation, and the Bushwhackers. Remember those guys? Those guys were a piece of work. Anyway, a little bit pricey a lot of times for the category, for the region, but the expenses are higher, not as many marketing dollars, not as much distribution, so I understand. So 15 bones for this Cabernet. I'm excited about tasting this. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. This is why I hate these shows, because you have a wonderful man like Andrew who sends us the wines, and he's the winemaker of this wine, and right off the bat the nose is I'm not feeling it, and I hate that I have to be completely transparent and honest, because this would be a great example of where I should hide it and just say this is fabulous, because clearly Andrew is a fabulous guy. But the nose seems a little bit awkward. It seems a little bit, I don't know, kind of dull fruit. I do get a little blackberry. It's starting to open up a little bit more. Maybe I was a little bit quick to jump. There's a little bit of like a gasoline-y kind of component that I think would turn some people off. I do get some balsamic vinegar meets blueberries. So plop some blueberries on a dish, throw some balsamic vinegar. That's what this smells like, and that's not so bad. So it is actually a little bit, yeah, it's warming up on me a tad. Let's give it a whirl. Nikolai, what's the alcohol content? 12.5. Interesting. This really is okay. It's serviceable. It's far from fancy and far from super exciting. I'm missing a little bit on the mid-palate. Even at 12.5% alcohol, I do get a little bit of heat on the back end, which really tells me the fruit is unable to contain or excite me in any way, or my palate. When I shake my palate's hand, it actually kind of takes my hand away. So it's not happy with me right now, Mott, and I'm worried about that. It's a one-dimensional effort that really does remind me, this is a little bit of the throwback for me. This does remind me of some of the efforts that I tasted out of California 10, 12 years ago in that under $8 price range California Cabernets. It's thin and a little bit awkward. I apologize, I'm not really into this wine at all. I get some green leaves. I get a little roadside brush, like, kind of thing going on in my mouth. You know, where you get, like, some twigs and minerality from rocks, but you almost might get, like, a dirty Band-Aid, too, and, like, a half-busted Coke can. I get a little bit of that action going on. This is not my cup of tea. I'm going to go 78 points on this wine, and it's an awful difficult start. I'm sorry. And I really am sorry. Let's move on. Chapel Creek Winery. Talk about a really cool concept. There's a small little community college in Oklahoma that makes wines. I guess there's senior classes involved in this wine. We're going to give Andrew Schneider another shot here because he's involved. He's clear. Andrew, I really want to meet you because you're clearly a great guy, and I really do apologize. And by the way, that's for my palate. I hope other people go out and try this wine because I don't want anybody to listen to my palate. It's only my opinion, and trusting your own palate is the key to the Vayner Nation and Wine Library TV. And so, just want to remind people on that because this could be somebody's favorite wine of all time. But he's part of this. This is a very interesting project. This is the Chapel Creek Winery, Oklahoma Centennial Cabernet Sauvignon Meritage Reserve, 85% Cabernet, 5% Merlot, 2% Cab Franc, 5% Syrah, 3% Malbec. It is done by the Redlands students, I guess the Redlands Community College students. It's a very interesting project. Reminds me of a project I know out in Australia where the students make the wine. That's what's going on here. Carefully advised by the faculty, they say, which is very cute, meaning the kids aren't getting hammered in the back of the classroom. Better color than the last wine. Andrew and his kids might have done a better job than Andrew himself. Maybe the kids are your lucky sauce because I really love the color. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. That's what we do on the Thunder Show. And this is $15 US again as well. And I like it. This has got a little bit more of an interesting nose than the last wine. Definitely a lot more aromatically exciting. I get a very nice little secondary cassis flavor on here. I get beautiful blackberries, like really, just fat blackberries. You just pull off the string and just bite them, and delicious, because I never wash any of my fruit. My wife, my mom, scared of that. Hate it. I love it. I'm not scared. Very nice. There's some really nice balance. There's a little bit of like cedar box in here, maybe like an old tobacco box kind of thing going on, which I really like. Let's give it a whirl. This moment is exactly why I'm in the wine industry. Let's rewind. This is a wine made by a community college in Oklahoma. I'm going to repeat it for you. This is a wine made by a community college in Oklahoma with Oklahoma grapes. And I'm going to tell you something right now. As far as Cabernet blend Meritage wines, at $15, before I get crazy and get like remembered for this statement for the rest of my life, let me just taste this one more time. This is why I do this show. I just tasted a wine from Oklahoma made by college students in Oklahoma with Oklahoma grapes that I'm going to tell you at 15 bones beats the living snot out of 90% of the California Red Meritage wines that I've had under 20 US bones in the last 36 months. That was a lot of numbers. Did you follow that? 15 bones, under 20, 36 months. That's 3 years, folks. That was 6. 3 years, folks. I'm telling you right now, I am baffled right now. Baffled right now at how good this is. I'm sorry, you're going to have to taste this. I'm curious what, you have a youthful palate. I am shocked right now how good this wine is. It's got great structure, great blackberry flavors dancing through a very obvious and well-structured mid-palate that so many wines, my friends, so many wines miss. As a matter of fact, this wine reminds me of a slightly fruitified classic claret from Bordeaux more than it does even a California wine. Under-oaked, thank you, no oak monster. This is an absolutely balanced effort. What really scares me is it's 15 bones written, meaning that's suggested retail. You probably could find it for less. This is why we need to do blind tastings with wine douchebags. Bring them in, put this wine in a wine tasting blind, and people will be humbled hard all day, all day. As a matter of fact, I probably would have thought this was a Washington State Cab Merlot blend that was like $20, $25 from a very hot up-and-coming producer if I tasted this wine double blind. I'm going to score this wine 91 points. And I'm dying to get my hand on a couple more bottles of this. I am completely shocked because of my own poor preconceived notions, especially when the teacher's wine I just crushed, unfortunately. This is staggering. What did you think?
That's very good.
You like it?
A little dry at the end.
Yep. We love that. I love this wine. I'm going to go 90 plus. I had to take a little half off. I saw a little something I didn't like at the end there. 90 plus points for Chapel Creek Winery, Cabernet Reserve, Meritage Reserve from Oklahoma. I am so darn pumped right now because we've done a lot of shows, Mod, as you know, from all these different... I don't think we've ever had a wine that's even come close to this. And it's 15 bones. Pretty... I don't know if I'm going to be able to, get going here from that. I'm shocked right now. Oh, and how cool is it? I switched... That was going to do that one first, remember? I switched at the last minute. That would have been a great start, huh? People are going to run to Oklahoma to buy their vino. All right. Woods and Waters. 2006 Shiraz. 13.9% alcohol. And this is made by Robert Pound. 15... What is every wine in Oklahoma has to be $15 by state law. 15 bones. It is a Shiraz, and it is from Oklahoma. And it's amazing how the psyche works, right? Now I'm like, oh crap, what can happen here? Let's give it a sniffy sniff. Did I rinse? I'm going to just rinse it one more time. I am still baffled by the Chapel Creek. Sniffy sniff. I get a very heavy eucalyptus minty thing going on here, and I'm all for that. Actually, it smells a little bit like a grasshopper. Remember, the mint chocolate little things from Keebler, the elves? It does smell a little bit like oxidized, believe it or not. I don't think anything's wrong with the wine, but it definitely has a little bit of bug spray repellent kind of thing going on. Tss, tss, you want to keep the bugs off, during the summertime. This would be something in the air. Let's give it a whirl. Very funky. I think this wine might have heat damage. And if it doesn't, this tastes, yeah. I'd like to taste another bottle of this. We're not going to score this wine, which is the first time we've ever done this. We've had corked wine here and there. There's something wrong with this wine. Very wrong with this wine. Very wrong with this wine. It's completely... I think it's oxidized. I know what oxidized wine tastes like, of course. This feels like it's half pregnant, half oxidized and half not, which is a little bit funky and unusual. But yeah, this is really... If this is the way this wine tastes, it's the worst wine we've ever had on Wine Library TV. That's saying a lot because that Voga Pinot Grigio got a 48. All right, final rinse. Wow, this has been very all over the place today on the Thunder Show. This is a Friday, huh? All right, Monster, The Range, Skipping Stone. You know, like, that's so fun. Skipping Stone, Vignoles, $15, of course, because every wine from Oklahoma has little Frizzante action. Mark, can you get that? Little Frizzante action. You getting that? Little Frizzante. 15 Bones, made by David Roberts, has 1.5% residual sugar. I don't think it's the same Dave Roberts who is a elderly outfielder, plays for the Padres or Giants these days. Steals a lot of bases. Always an interesting player that Brandon Warnicki wants to draft for his fantasy team. This is a dessert wine of sorts. Let's see what's going on here. Let's give it a snippy sniff. Very golden color. Almost orange-esque. Little Frizzante. Wow. Talk about passion fruit. I get a lot of papaya. I get a lot of passion fruit in this wine. I get a sense of guava. I also get a little bit of a creamy, like almost like guava. Okay, so this could get a little interesting. Take a bunch of guava and then open a bunch of like those half and half packets that you get like for coffee and pour it on top. I get a little bit of that kind of action. So it's guava with like half and half poured on top of it. Very interesting. Very heavy on the passion fruit. Super heavy. By far the most passion fruit laden wine I've ever smelled. Let's see what the range has got. Weird. Tastes like a Muscat mixed with 7-Up. That's what this wine tastes like. I'm not so sure that I'm sold on this wine. It seems like it's achieving to be desserty. It's almost like mixing a little... Actually, I'm going to hit this one out of the park. Ready? We're going to go Mr. Wizard on you. Take a cup, pour a third Prosecco, a third orange juice, and a third Orangina. And that's what this tastes like. And so for me, orange juice, Orangina, Prosecco, $15. I'm not feeling this. It's light, it's awkward, it's disjointed. It really isn't finding a home in my palate. I mean, it's pretty floral. It's got some interesting secondary spiciness. It's kind of almost like, think of like eggnog not being creamy. Make any sense? I mean, it's a very awkward little wine. A lot of orange peel. It's not really doing much for me. I'm definitely going to pass on this wine. I'm going to score this wine 76 points. And that's just because I'm being a little kind, actually. I mean, I don't know. I'm not feeling it at all. It's a major pass. And this is a very ironic show. I mean, about as ironic as they get. We've never had a show where we've got 3 wines under 80 points. And 1 wine, I'm going to taste it again. Do I have any shout-outs? Oh, I want to link up the San Francisco party. If you haven't bought your tickets, if you're not going to miss episode 500, you better do it right away. Mott, link it up. Big shout-out to Iowa. I will see you tomorrow. Looking forward to the book signing in Des Moines. And let me just taste this one more time because I have a feeling anybody remotely close to this area that can get their hands on this bottle of wine. See, I'm so excited. I'm pouring it on myself. Amazing. What a good effort. What a very interesting turning point in my own mind about what can be done in Oklahoma. I need to do a lot more homework about what's going on here, where the grapes are coming from, and how the heck they pulled off such a substantial effort in a place that nobody thinks about when they think about wine. And clearly, another indication of exactly what's happened, because the world will always repeat itself. People laughed at California wines in the early 70s. Nobody knew anything about New Zealand wines in the early 90s. And I'm very positive that I love the fact that this is being archived on the internet, because when Oklahoma is kicking California's ass in blind tastings, they'll say that crazy Jersey guy said Oklahoma could do a little something. Big up to the state of Oklahoma for having the ability to pump out a community college wine that rocks the darn house. Question of the day. I'm going to change it because I want to be inspired. What's the biggest surprise you've had in your life this year? Because I know what mine is. You, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world, whether they like it or not.